I have never heard, just kidding, actually have heard the soundtrack. This is actually my most played Pokemon soundtrack I've ever heard, ever, because I've beaten and played this game at least a dozen times. That said, that was like 15, 20 years ago, so we're going to go ahead and get started here. Listen to the soundtrack. I'm going to point out some things to you along the way, and we're going to have some fun. I'm a music teacher. I've written some books that fit #1 bestseller in their categories on Amazon, and here we go. Music. Love it. Alright, so you have me in both ears. Am I in both ears now? Mike's a little echoey. Yeah, maybe. Tell you what, we're going to have an imperfect audio day, at least from me today. But, can you hear me in both ears now? That was a delightful start to it. We're going to go straight into, and by the way, of course, I love that. Echoey, huh? Fixed. Okay, here we go. Actual B section. So perfect. Okay, so something interesting to point out about this title theme, it's actually a half step lower than the previous two generations. Indeed, the previous two generations title that we heard was something along these lines. Sorry. Like that. And what we just heard here was a little bit lower, in fact. It's something a little bit more along the lines of... whole steps. Right, so right here we have... instead of... it's a whole step lower. The key of F major. Now, what's interesting, we also heard the key of F major plenty of times for different things, especially in Gen 2. We heard a bunch of F major things, and yes, indeed, so many horns, so many trumpets. The question was, should we have brass? The answer was yes. The question was, should we have 2 trumpets? The answer was yes. The question was, would more brass belong on this OST? The answer was indeed, again, yes. And then someone said, should we have more trumpets or more trombones? And the answer again was yes. Let's keep this rocking with the next one. So I actually didn't talk about this when we heard it in either the opening or the, rearrangement, reharmonization of the title theme. But what we have is a 4 to a minor 4. So it starts off right here in the key of A flat major. It's like 1, dee dee, da ba da ba da 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 dee dee da ba da 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 do da 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 da. Absolutely butchering the melody with the voice box there, but the chords were right. So it's 4 to minor 4. Oh, and then back to 1. Type a 3 in the chat if that feels a little nostalgic to you. Not even, okay, maybe not nostalgic. Like, well, I didn't play the game, it's not nostalgic. But like that it has that feeling of bittersweetness that kind of touches your heart a little bit right here, this. Yeah, type of 3 if that's got a little bit, even if you never played the game, you just feel, oh yes, that does indeed tickle my heart with some feelings. There you go. All right, let's keep this rocking and rolling with the next one. I have so much more appreciation for this melody right here now that we've heard this in, if I'm not mistaken, Gen 1 and Gen 2 as well. That was just delightful. It's also cool to hear the music sounds really take this step to the next level that, yeah, maybe there's a lot of brass going on, but gosh, that sound card difference of really heading into the Game Boy Advanced and Game Boy Advanced SP. I had me a cobalt colored Game Boy SP, and my first video game was also Pokémon Sapphire. Played it a whole bunch. We'll keep it rocking and rolling. Now, Music Sheep says, is there a reason why songs sound childlike and playful? Well, first of all, we would call these pieces as opposed to songs. Songs would always have lyrics. Not everything that has lyrics is a song, but all songs have lyrics. Now, something that makes it sound cheerful and playful are the use of the chords, the harmony, and also the melody. Now, we can hear throughout the Pokemon franchise is that there is a fine line that's always being walked between sounding cool and also sounding like a lullaby. And in fact, a lot of times it sounds like, you guessed it, a cool lullaby. Now, as we go through breaking down more of this OST, I'm going to point out moments for you where it sounds more cool and actually break down for you what's going on behind the music, and times where it sounds more like a lullaby and why it sounds more like a lullaby. Now, one of the reasons this piece we just listened to, Littleroot Town, sounds more like a lullaby has to do with it being in a major key. It's not the only reason, but it sure is one of the big reasons. Now, when we think and try and understand, well, what is a major key? You think of a major key as a whole group of friends that got together that are going to talk in a particular way between themselves. And it doesn't matter what order we put these friends in. They're all on a bus together, and we could sit Johnny next to Sally, or we could sit Susie next to Johnny, or we could sit Freddie next to Sally. Now, in all fairness, James at the back of the bus, he's the half diminished chord, and we're not too sure what to do with him. But we're going to leave James alone for now. All the other friends, we put them in whatever order we want, and it's going to sound pretty much Happy, again, is a very simple way of distilling the feeling down, but it's going to sound happy if it's in a major key. And then if we flip over to the other side, it's a whole different bus. Same friends, but we kind of put them in an order where they sound a little bit different, and that's going to be the minor keys. And in the minor keys, you're going to hear things overall, in general, sound sad. Again, an oversimplification if I'm being really brutally honest with myself and with you, but it serves the purpose for today. Let's keep rocking and rolling with the next piece. All right, any guesses, major or minor key? Put it in the chat. Oh, we had a 4 minor 4 there. And right there, what did we hear again? We heard the minor 4 to 1. Our 1 is going to be D. And what we heard right there is da 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 dee dee doo dee ba. I'll play it. Sing it for you one time. Da 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 dee 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 da. And that's that 4 to minor 4 to 1. This is now the 3rd or 4th time we've heard it, so I'm going to keep bringing that up to you. Now, that right there kind of sounds like a lullaby in and of itself. That minor 4 to 1 kind of sounds like a sweet lullaby, doesn't it? All right, let's keep rocking and rolling with the next one. And right there, right before the fade out, guess what there was? A 4 to a minor 4, that would then bring us back to 1. So this piece is in a major key. In fact, it's in the key of D flat. Let's make that just a little bit thicker there. All right, D flat major. And in the key of D flat major, let's zoom on in here. We had a 1. It started off. And then we went to a 5 of 4, which sounds like a 1-7. And then we went to the 4. And indeed, right there at the very end, don't get caught up in the Roman numerals that I'm running. Right down at the very end there, we heard a 4 to a minor 4 to a 1. This is now the 4th or 5th piece. Can someone keep track, please? This is now the 4th or 5th piece we've heard at the very start of this OST with a 1 to a 4. Well, maybe it doesn't start with a 4, but maybe it doesn't start with a 1, but a 4 to a minor 4. Guys, we're hearing it all over the place now. To call that a motif would be incorrect because it's not technically notes, but it is a small and recognizable music idea, so we're going to call it a harmonic motif. A 4 to a minor 4. Just to remind you again what that sounds like just a little bit of heartache. So here we have the 1, here we have the 4, here's the minor 4, and then back to the 1. There it is. Let's keep it rocking and rolling. Whoop. All right, anyone want to guess if that is in a major or a minor key? Go ahead and put it in the chat. No? Okay. Okay. Yep. Minor, minor, minor. You got it right. And that's the key of C minor there. And it's doing a little James Bond thing. Type before, if you now hear the James Bond thing, it's kind of hard to unhear it now. And then right at the end there, that is a 7 sharp 9 chord. That's a G7 sharp 9. Ooh, how spicy. All right, let's keep this thing going. I want to talk to you about one idea. It's called a counter melody. Not to be confused with a table melody, a chair melody, or indeed a cabinet melody. Haha. Anyway, a counter melody, basically you have the main melody here on top and then you hear a secondary melody underneath. And I want to point out to you, because we've actually heard, if I'm not mistaken, more counter melodies in this OST so far. Not total that we heard in, let's say, Gen 1 and Gen 2. However, it is seeming to be a much more common occurrence. Like even right there, you can hear the high melody. And I'm doing a bad job singing it. And then we have the lower counter melody going. Alright, so type a 2 in the chat if you can hear that there's two melodies happening at the same time right here. And it's like one's kind of like a sharper sound, it's right over here, which sounds more like a trumpet. The other one sounds maybe more, a little bit more like a French horn, and it's coming over here if you're wearing headphones. Oh, a bunch of y'all can hear it. Actually, you can hear the counter melody. Excellent, beautiful, awesome. And see, you even heard it without me singing it well. How beautiful is that? You're doing a great job. Let's keep this going. Okay, so Victory, this is actually the same melody that we heard for Victory in the previous generations. Now, Chase Harms has a question in the chat, which is, how do you know one is a counter melody versus a harmony? Well, that's an interesting question because it brings up a little bit of a, well, philosophical idea here. So if we have one melody being played here, and then we have one melody being played here, okay, and the blue is the counter melody, and the black one is the main melody. What's happening is whenever the notes overlap, and I'm going to do this with red. So let's say we have notes overlapping here and here and here, and maybe this counter melody doesn't play right here, maybe it doesn't play right here, right? But there's these notes that are overlapping. Wherever the notes overlap and the counter melody, also let me make sure you can see my screen. You can? Okay, good. Let me zoom in here too. Wherever you can see the notes overlap, that will create a harmony, 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 harmony. Now, this is different than when, let's say you actually have a chord that is being played with a melody on top, and the chord has like 3 notes. Maybe it has 4 notes here. Maybe, yeah, there's a note here that continues on over here. There's a note here that continues on over here. And then there's more notes over here, right? And so then this is when you have multiple notes stacked up together, and multiple notes stacked up together creates harmony. Now, even just 2 notes together does, in fact, create harmony. So if you just have a counter melody and a main melody, anytime the notes overlap, that is technically harmony. All right, let's keep this rocking and rolling. Rocking. To 5, sus 4, and I'm calling out the chords here. This is in the major key of D major. So why does this sound so happy and carefree? It's in a major key. Major, all day, every day, is gonna sound pretty much happy, especially if it's done like this. Right there we had flat 6 to 5, which was pretty cool. Let me know if you can hear the guitar over the music, if I need to turn that puppy up just a little bit. Can't hear the guitar. Okay, we'll turn that up. All right, let's keep this going. Yes, FSAPO says major. How do we know it's major, guys? Because it sounds like a cutie patootie little lullaby, and you kind of want to just pinch its cheeks and say, who is a cutie little lullaby? And then the lullaby gets a little scared because you're coming at it with so much, you're so cute energy. But yeah, it's so cute. All right, let's keep this going. B flat major. Yes, Nitro one. Minor 4 there, again we had it. All right, let's do that one more time. This time I'm gonna call some things out as we go. I'm gonna turn the guitar up just. So what do we have there again? And right there, that right there, that's the minor 4. Back to the 1. Sorry for butchering that theme just a little bit as we went through it, but we'll keep it going with... Oh, love it. And that, however, is in the same key as the first 2 generations. Key of E major. Same as we heard in Gen 1 and Gen 2. Let's keep it going. Now that's another one in about B flat major. Oops, might have made a little oopsie there. So what are the chords there? Well, it's an E flat major to a G flat major to a F major, back to a B flat major. B flat major really, for me, is the 1 there if we listen through that. So if we were to break that down with some Roman numerals to really make sense of it from a music perspective, we'd have a 4 that it starts on, to a flat 6, pretty cool, to a 5, then to a 1. How cool is that? 4, flat 6, 5, 1. I think that's the first time I've ever heard that chord progression in my adult life. I listened to it when I was a kid when I played this, but that was so long ago, I honestly don't remember it too much. All right, let's keep this going. All right, so what we have here is, again, major key and the key of A flat major. Back we go. Here we go. You guys hear the guitar? And what we have here in the key of A flat major is a 1, 2, 5, 1. And the 2, 5, 1, we hear that all over Pokemon Black and White. We've heard it a little bit in Gen 1 and Gen 2. And the 2, 5, 1 is one of the foundational elements of, well, jazz. And this is kind of a bossa nova style. 2, 5, 1. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 to a 1 major 7 2, 3, 4 to a 2 minor 7, 2, 3, 4 to a 5. I might have put that in the wrong place there. Oopsie doozy. To a 5, 7, 2, 3, 4, and then it just repeats around and around it goes. But that's that entire piece codified into Roman numerals. A bit of jazz. Yeah, bossa nova jazz. Let's keep it going. Wow, so right there, a beautiful arrangement of the battle theme we heard in Gen 1, we heard in Gen 2, and now in Gen 3, just mwah, loving those horns coming in as well. What we can hear, just like we heard in Gen 1 and Gen 2, is we have a 1, a flat 2, and showing so much of the conflict with these two notes. Now this is no longer lullaby area, no indeed. And how do we know it's no longer lullaby area and we're headed into either the conflict or the cool areas? It's because we start to have things called flats. That's our key. If we've got flats in terms of how we're thinking of things relative to each other, that's when we're going to have the cooler sounds, and that's when we're going to also have the conflict sounds. Now, to be clear, the flat is not going to just be in the name of the key, because we can have, like we heard before, we had things in the key of A flat that were very much lullaby-esque. Now, what I'm talking about is things relative to each other having flats. So, like if we have a 1, for example, here, which we did, we had a 1, and then also we heard a flat 2. So whenever we see Roman numerals and we start to see the flats, or I start writing down melodies like 1, 2, 3, and I start putting a flat in front of the 2 or the 3, that's how we know we've entered into the cool zone. And let's keep it rocking and rolling here as we keep going now. So what do we have here? This doesn't just sound like a lullaby, right? It sounds a little cool. Type a 2 in the chat if you agree that this doesn't just sound like a lullaby. It sounds a little cool. So where does the coolness come from? I'm actually going to show you right now. So the coolness comes from, first, it's starting off a little bit like a lullaby. We have 1 to 2 to 5. So, here is where we go to the flat 3. To 4, to like maybe 3, 6, 5. So right there, that's where it gets cool. So we can think about this as being in the key of G major. And it starts off with a 1, we can call it a 5 of 5 or a major 2. Right now I'm going to call it a 2. Come fight me in the comments. And then it goes to, well, actually just go to a 5. So actually I take that back. I'm going to call it the 5 of 5 because it just goes straight to 5. Okay, so 5 of 5. That was a pretty short fight, huh? Okay, 1, 5, 5 of 5, 5 of 5, 1, 1, 5 of 5, 5 of 5, 5 of 5. Okay, and that repeats 2 times. And then it goes 1 to 5 of 5, and then it goes to flat 3, and then it goes to 4. So where's the cool stuff happening? I'm going to highlight the cool stuff in blue. Everything starts sounding cool right here. Everything in green, basically lullaby territory. So we have lullaby territory, lullaby territory, lullaby territory. Then it sounds all kinds of cool, starting on the flat 3. Okay, let's keep this going with the next one. And there you go. Nights are over. Now that's again in the key of E major, just like we heard in Gen 1 and Gen 2. Let's keep this going. And you registered a new PokeNav. Well, that's absolutely delightful. And I think one of the things I'm really enjoying about this, and I believe we even talked about this with the Ace Attorney OSTs, it's the difference in the bass sound. Like with this next gen of games, how just across the board with the Game Boy Advance, how the actual just the bass sounds are so much more fun. Well, I mean, okay, that's a very subjective statement. I find them more fun, in the sense that you actually get like the slap sounds. Now, some of you are wondering what it was I just chugged in about 2 seconds flat. That would be electrolytes and exogenous ketones in water. The exogenous ketones help keep me sharp, as does the electrolytes, as does the water. Let's keep it going with Hurry Along. So, so type a 3 in the chat if you hear in this piece that it sounds a little bit more simple, a little bit more vanilla, a little bit more lullaby. Maybe not quite as cool. Type a 3 if you can hear that in the chat, and then I'll explain to you why it is you hear exactly the thing that you're hearing. Music Sheep is hearing it. Fantastic job. So, what do we have here, guys? It's 1s, 4s, and 5s. There's no flats. It's it's 1, 4, 5. There's no flat 3. There's no flat 6. There's no flat 7. It sounds like, give it to me, a lullaby. Let's keep it going, rocking and rolling. Remember this piece. This is great. I can't remember this because it was so long ago. The only Pokemon's name I can remember from this game, specifically from this game, was number 1, Mudkip, because I always started with a Mudkip, and the second is Aaron. And I'm telling you, I cannot remember. Like, it's been so long since I played this game. It's been so long. That did actually loop twice, believe it or not, Music Sheep. Now, what's really cool about this is they actually start doing some interesting, like, things with the mixing here where it almost sounds like the high end is being dialed back. So it almost sounds like things are a little bit muffled, and then when it gets to the big part, it sounds like it's not muffled anymore. So watch this. I'm going to sort of talk muffled with it, and then I'm going to bring my mouth away, and you'll hear this moment where the whole thing kind of opens up. That has to do with just hiding the high end. Wow! Type a 4 in the chat if you can hear that. Where it goes from that muffled sound to that big open sound. That's hiding the high end. Very interesting stuff. And that's literally saying, okay, of all the frequency spectrum that you can hear, let's say, you know, about 20 hertz to about 20,000, maybe it might be 20,000 kilohertz. Anyway, I'm not exactly sure, but the point is we have 20 to 20K. It's like literally hiding everything below like 5,000. And so what it's doing, it's blocking out all this information, and then when it comes back in, that opens things up, and you're like, oh my! All right, let's keep it going. Let's talk about a word. The word is ostinato. Austin like the city, and Texas, auto like automatic. Ostinato. That's not how it's spelled, but that sure is how it is said. Ostinato. Ostinato means some part of the music that repeats in such a way that you might be able to call it stubborn. So if something repeats so much that you could say, wow, that is stubbornly repeating, that's when we could call something ostinato. Now, we can hear an example of ostinato in this piece of music. I'm going to put my guitar distortion on, and it's quite a simple little thing, but it's pretty cool. Right there. And that is ostinato. Just repeat. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. And interestingly right there, how is it repeating back and forth between what we could call, if we thought of the first note as one, a 1 and a flat 2. And what do we know about flats, chat? What do we know about flats, chat? We know that if the flats come around, it's time for it either to sound cool or minor. This Petalburg forest doesn't really sound like a lullaby, does it? No, indeed. And we can tell that already just by looking at the music, because there is the flat. All right, let's keep this rocking and rolling. Wow, let's bring that one back one time. Listen to that again. That is so awesome. So what we have it as a foundation of this piece of music is a 1 to a 4. 1 minor to 4. It's in the key of D minor, but it's like I got a little delay on my guitar, so I'm not going to groove. But yeah, there you go. Cool stuff. Let's keep it going. Man, some of these are so short because they loop. Let's listen to it one more time. Oh, that right there. Oh, so cool. Oh, what a delightful little thing. And let's keep this going. here's one of my favorite parts right here. Love that right there. Now that is what we would call a blues scale. A blues scale. Now you can learn more about blues scales specifically, and also blued chord progressions on page 212 of the Best Music Theory Book for Beginners, book number 3. So that's page 212 of the Best Music Theory Book for Beginners 3. And the interesting part right here that we just heard is having the flat 5 or the sharp 4 be added in, and that's actually called the blue note. And again, that's the Best Music Theory Book 3. There's 3 of them, and this is in number 3 on page 212. You can find that on Amazon. All right, let's keep this going with the next one. So what's interesting about this piece right here, does this sound a little lullaby to you? So that right there, it's kind of just like it's a 4-5 back and forth. F and a G back and forth, not to be confused with an effigy. Let's keep this going. Okay, so something interesting there is we had a 2, a 1, 2, 5. Remember, that's the jazzy thing, but then it kind of gave us a minor 4, and then didn't bring us back to 1. It brought us to like... Ooh, I lost it. Where'd we go? Here's the 1. Here's the 2. 5. Then it's like flat 6 to 5 to... something. We'll figure that out another time. Here we go. Next one. So that was like a 1, 2, 6, 4, 5, back to 1. Now, if that sounded a little bit more lullaby than like cool to you, type a 4 in the chat again. Type a 4 in the chat. That sounded a little bit more lullaby to you than cool. And we'll listen to it one more time as we go through here. It down chromatically from 6. Beautiful stuff. All right, let's keep this rocking and rolling with the next one. Man, do you remember what it was like playing video games before you could just, like, if you were stuck, go look up online how to unstick yourself? Back in my day, if you were stuck in a video game and you didn't know how to get to a boat, or you took a boat to a wrong place and you didn't know where to go, you just had to figure it out. They had to make them like they used to. Let's keep it going. Oops. It's very Zelda. 2 T dot, 3 T dot, 4 T dot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 12, 8, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so, how do I know it's 12-8? And what's the difference between 12-8 and 4-4? Well, again, in our music theory book 3, Best Music Theory Book for Beginners, book 3, on page 23. I'll hold this up to the camera here so you can actually see it. You can see here we have 12-8. We actually have 12-8 compared to 4-4. And you can see in 4-4, it's strongest, weak, strong, weakest. And you can see that versus 4-4, right? So the 4-4, there's 4 beats in the measure. The 12-8, there's 4 beats in the measure. The metric hierarchy is still strongest, weak, strong, weakest for both. However, the 12-8 has 3 divisions of each beat, whereas the 4-4 only has 2 divisions of each beat. And again, that's on page 23 of the Best Music Theory Book for Beginners, number 3. There's 3 of them. All right, let's check out this next one. So this is actually the first Pokemon OST we've heard the shuffle feel in, if I'm not mistaken. We might have heard swing back in Gen 1 or Gen 2. This is definitely the first time we've heard something that's more approximating a shuffle than a swing. What's the difference between shuffle and swing, you might ask? Well, they're both going to be in 4-4, technically speaking. However, I have seen shuffles written in 12-8. And so it really comes down to the way that the swung 8th note is approached in the 12-8 feeling versus the swing feeling that changes between swing and shuffle. Let's keep this going with the next one. Gosh, I just love this music, don't you? So let's keep it going. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I can't wait to explain that to you. Oh, that's so cool. So right there. That right there, that's literally the same exact sound we heard in Gen 2. Might also have been Gen 1. This, I believe, had a different name. This same piece of music had a different name in Gen 1 and Gen 2. Chat, help me out with what that is. Someone knows their Pokemon OSTs so well, they're going to be able to tell me the name that this piece of music had, because it was a different name. I don't think it was the Oceanic Museum that this had. Was it the SS Anne? SS Anne. All right, from Gen 1. Yes, and it was like the same exact trumpet sound too, which is so cool. That's what I was so excited to share with you. Yes, it's an arrangement of the SS Anne. Now, we had some questions about the time signature in this piece of music. Some people said, okay, was it 12/8 again? Was it 3/4? Was it 4/4? I was watching in the chat. And no, this piece of music is not a waltz. This piece of music is actually in 4/4. So a waltz is going to have 3 beats in the measure. It's going to be, there you go. See, it's over like where I'm wiggling my pinky at. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. What we just heard was 4/4 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is how you understand the difference between 4/4 and 3/4, and that's on page 28 of the Best Music Theory book for beginners, number 1. There's 3 of them. All right, let's keep it going. Absolutely delightful. Hey, by the way, if you didn't know about that SS Anne Oceanic Museum connection, type a 4 in the chat if your mind was just blown sky high with that connection. Type a 4 in the chat if that you just didn't realize it till we started talking about it and you're like, oh wow, that's right. Type a 4 in the chat if you just got that now. So cool. Doctor's got it, Mike's got it, Benjamin's got it. Super cool. Snowcat's got it. Senior Kevin, Green Porcini, Try, Pinky. That is so cool. Okay, that's so awesome. I'm so glad you guys could make this connection here now. This is one of those things that these streams are all about, is helping you see the connections in the music that you love. All right, let's keep this rocking and rolling. Okay, so absolutely loving this. What do we just hear there? Another 2-5-1. That's the 2. Here's the 5. dum da. Dum da. Back to the 1. 1, 2, 5, 1. You hear it everywhere. Air. All right, let's keep this rocking and rolling with the next one. Drums are next level in this one compared to Gen 1 and Gen 2. Wow. Oh my gosh, the rhythm. Oh my gosh. Love it. Someone asked in the chat, what instruments can do something called pizzicato? Well, to understand what instruments can do pizzicato, we first need to understand which instruments can do arco, because only instruments that do arco, as far as I know, can do pizzicato, technically speaking. So the whole thing of pizzicato is you're using your finger to play an instrument instead of a bow. So for example, a violin, a viola, a cello, a stand-up upright bass, or a double bass, or a contrabass, whatever name you'd like to give to it, all those can be played with a bow. Now when you put the bow down or you hold the bow and you pluck one of those instruments with your finger instead, that's going to be called pizzicato, and that is how pizzicato works. It's a pizzicato. Yeah, I get it. It's funny, El Chico. So, our guitar's pizzicato, I mean, kinda, sorta, you would actually call it finger picking, because guitars are not typically played with a bow. It's actually expected that much of the time you're going to play the guitar with your fingers. So, we would call that finger style, or played with fingers, versus with a pick. Let's keep it going. So that right there was a 1 in D major to a flat 3 to a 4 to a 5. And then it just hung out on the 5. Yeah, the 1, the flat 3, remember that flat 3, that's part of what makes that whole thing sound a little bit cool. All right, let's check out this next one, which is called Jackpot. That was like a G to a C to a G, as far as I can tell. That makes sure that was not a D, and I'm not mistaken here. Yeah, it's D, C, G, and there you go. A 1 to a 4 to a 1. Let's keep this puppy going. I don't know about you, but this brings back memories for me of charging. I think I could charge the Game Boy Advance up, or maybe I needed extra AA batteries. I don't quite remember how that worked. My Game Boy Advance SP. But what I do remember is I remember waking up on a Saturday morning and pretending to still be asleep and bringing my little Game Boy under the covers of me and pulling the covers up and playing for at least an hour before I finally got up when I was like a young kiddo. If you've had a similar story like that of bringing your Game Boy Advance or your SP or maybe your DS and kind of sneaking it under the covers and playing it, either pretending to be asleep at night or in the morning, I'd love to hear about it. Let me know in the chat in the comments. And let's keep this thing going. So this is actually not in 3-4. You might be wondering what the time signature is here. If it was 3-4, this is the pattern we'd be looking for from the kick drum and the snare drum. And you can find this on page 31 of the Best Music Theory book for beginners. Now, we'd be looking for a low, high, high pattern, but we're not hearing that. Rather, we're hearing a low, high pattern. So if we look here, what the drums look like in 12/8, we hear so that would either be 12/8 or you can make an argument for 6/8, which also has the and it just repeats twice as fast. So that's how we would know it's 12/8 or 6/8 as opposed to 3-4. And again, this was page 24 of the Best Music Theory book for beginners 3. Is we'd know the difference between 3-4 and 12/8 or 6/8 because of the pattern of the drums very easily and very quickly. That actually clues us in to the time signature. Let's keep this rocking and rolling. It's so delightful. Pizzicato, pizzicato, pizzicato. So we were talking about pizzicato a moment ago. Here is the sound of pizzicato. Right there. That's pizzicato right there. That's pizzicato. Yeah, you could say it's a harp. I'd call that pizzicato. Maybe there's a harp layered in there. Let's keep it rocking and rolling. So cool. Let's keep it going. Man, I absolutely love that. And that's a minor key right there. That's no longer major. That's no longer lullaby. And if I take these headphones off, I can groove. Here we go. And that there be the groove. All right, let's keep it going. Guess what that was? 2-5-1 in the key of D major. We've seen so many 1, 2, 5 1s in the key of D major today, and that was another one for the book. Yodelay-oo. All right, so what's real interesting about this is that the A section, no, is not Phrygian, guys, because it has a major third in it. So because it has a major third and that flat second in there, that is no longer Phrygian, no indeed. And if we were to map out the notes that are used there, we have a 1, we have a flat 2, major 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, I know how to write a 7, 7, back to 1. Those are the notes that are being used there. Ooh, ooh. We have a question of what do we call that? And we might be able to call that Hungarian major. I'm not entirely sure. I'll get back to you on that. So I think the really cool part is after that, it went straight down the middle, fastball to A major. It was like 2, 5, maybe 5, 6 to 5 to maybe 5 of 4, 4, 5. Maybe, yeah, it might have been a Rickroll. You down, never gonna run around or hurt you, never gonna tell a lie, say goodbye. Ooh, never gonna tell a lie or hurt you, yeah. All right, let's keep it going. I mean, absolutely delightful, full of nostalgia. Let's keep the party rocking, shall we? Oh, yes, please. Flat 2, flat 3 there. Flat 2, flat 3, 1. So what do we hear there? Well, a whole bunch of like ones, flat twos, flat threes, back to the ones, to the flat sevens. Oh. If I take my headphones off, I can groove. Here we go. All right, let's keep this going. And what we heard right there was a 1 to a 5 of 5 back to 5. Just like we heard back here previously, all the way back here. In the OST, we heard a 1 to a 5 of 5 to a 5, and right there, what did we have? We had a 1 to a 5 of 5 to, sure enough, twere a 5. Yeah, I don't have the D. That's okay. We could think of that as either being a 1 to a 2 to a 3, or we can think of that as being a flat 6, a flat 7 to a 1. Met her in a club down in Old Soho where they drink champagne and it tastes just like Coca-Cola. Cola. I could actually groove if I take these headphones off. I met her in a club down in Old Soho where they drink champagne and it tastes just like Coca-Cola. Cola. And if you're wondering if I played that in Gen 1 and possibly Gen 2 when we heard the same piece of music, you'd be right. Let's keep this going. Hey, here's what I want to know. How many of you played Sapphire, got Kyogre, and then gave Kyogre the Surf Stone, and then were surfing with Kyogre and felt like such a boss that you were literally like riding this cool, crazy Pokemon that you captured? That's what I remember doing. I remember specifically giving Kyogre the Surf Stone. All right, let's keep this thing going. Ah, so beautiful. So beautiful, man. Love this music. Minor 4 right there. And that is just absolutely gorgeous. By the way, I want to invite you to ask me any question you have about the music. If there's a specific thing, because there's so many things I could talk about. Sometimes I'm like, I just sit back and enjoy the music. I'm like, oh, that was so delightful. But is there something in particular you want to understand? Like a couple people have asked about time signatures and pizzicato and things in the stream. Go ahead, ask me in the chat, and I will answer your questions. Let's keep this going. So right there, what we just heard was 1 to flat 7 to flat 6 to 5, and then it comes back and does something a little bit more different. It walks down chromatically. It's like 1 to 7 to flat 7 like that to 6 to flat 6, which also creates like a minor 4 thing there to 1, and then it did maybe something like a 4 to a 5. Those last 2 chords I'm not entirely sure on. Then back to 1, but what's so cool is just looking at the bass pattern here of 1 flat 7, flat 6 5 the first time, and then the second time coming through 1 7, flat 7 6, flat 6 5. This chromatic walk down both ways is going from 1 to 5, 1 to 5, but it's all about how you get there. So cool. Let's keep this going. Encounter. So here we have now Simon Riley says ostinato. Well, would you describe that as repeating so much that it was repeating stubbornly? If yes, that's ostinato. Let's keep it rocking. It does kind of... Man, that was so cool. That was all about the rhythm. Now, there were some melodic ideas in there. Like... Something along those lines. It's basically outlining like an F7 chord. So if I were to groove with this, which I might not be able to because if I hear my guitar's got a little echo on it. Type a 4 in the chat if that sounded groovy to you. you might have seen me stop dancing for a moment there, so I want to explain something to you. Type a 5 in the chat if you could hear where the music slowed down for just a moment there. It slowed down just a moment. So what we have there is the use of rallentando, or indeed a ritardando. And you can find this on page 75 of the Best Music Theory Book for Beginners 3, page 75. And so a rallentando is like when your car coasts to a stop. It's an even decrease of speed that takes place during a set number of beats, measures, or lines of music. Many times you'll find more than one rallentando at the end of pieces or before changing the section of a song. So right there was a change of the section of the song. And so it slowed down just a little bit, and then it went back to the tempo that it was originally at. So a tempo, which means you go straight back to speed. A tempo means go straight back down to speed, or straight back up to speed, rather. And that's on page 76, Best Music Theory Book for Beginners 3. Let's keep rocking. Just remembered the whole art thing where you can get your Pokemon painted. Just remembered that. That's amazing. Thank you, Miguel, for triggering that memory. That's amazing. Alright, we are looping now. We're going to go to the next one. So that right there is in the key of E major, like we've heard lots of the different little victories and the little stings, the little jingles that we've heard throughout Pokemon Gen 1 and Gen 2. This also is in E major. So what do we have right there? We had 1 to a 504 to a 4 to a 5 back to a 1. Around and around we go. Let's keep this going. So what's really cool about this is in the B section, it kind of goes to the key of F, and it's doing a... In fact, I'll prove it to you. Let's play with it. Oh, now it's changing. Okay. Also, might have been B flat instead of F. Yeah, I was hearing it wrong. It was in the key of B flat, and it was just 1 to flat 7 there. Now, what's interesting about the 1 to the flat 7 is the 1 to the flat 7 works for... Ooh, here's what we can do here. Kinda no, not really. Okay, let's just go to the next one. So right there we have... What's interesting is we could actually see the evolution in the music here, because what we have is we have something small, a 1 to a 2. There's not a lot of distance between 1 and 2. And then it goes 1 to 5. It jumps to a 5, and it jumps to a 6. And we actually see there's a big jump between 1, 2, 5, and 6. Oh, so how cool is that? The music's actually showing us that there's something small that's going to become something big. Super cool. Let's keep it rocking and rolling. Yes! Melody in your right ear. Now, we just had a question in chat, which is, what's it called when the music shows us what is happening in a story? Well, I've seen several different names for this idea. The name I always use is text painting. Like the story, it's painting the text. So it's like, you used to make me feel high. Now so low. You're making me feel high, and now you make me feel so low. Right? So that's describing the feeling with high notes for the word high and low notes for the word low. Let's keep this going. Oh, so cool. A little creepy, too, and absolutely delightful. Ah, so good. That there's 3-4. How do we know it's 3-4? Because it's like low, high, high, low, high, high, low, high, high, low, high, high. That was so groovy, so delicious, and so awesome. Benjamin says, what is it called when there are two layers of the same music, but one layer is a bit higher than the other? Is it harmony? There exists a specific word for this? Okay, so let me ask you this. When you say that, are you talking about something like this, where it's like... Right? Is that what you mean by two layers, where it's two things are doing the same thing at the same time? Type a 2 in the chat if that's what you mean. If it's two things at the same time, they're doing the same thing with two different sounds, you can tell it's like two different instruments, or like a voice and a guitar, just as an example, doing the same notes at the same time. We would call that doubling. But if you have, for example, a melody, and then you have another part above it that is higher in terms of pitch, that's going to be called a harmony. And let's keep this going with Team Aqua Hideout. absolutely love that. I'm going to groove on this for a second. So this is like kind of like 80s funky. You can listen to like Hiram Bullock on the guitar. Ooh, what was his name on the saxophone? There's a tune called Chicago. Yeah. Marcus Miller on the bass. Dave Sanders. There's a little groove there. I don't know if that lined up or not, but I had fun. Ah, we obtained an item. Let's keep it rolling. If you happen to know, the very first thing you hear in Gen 1, the very first thing you also hear in Gen 2, I don't even remember the first thing we hear in Gen 3 here, but right here, this is that thing. It's the very first thing. Yes, so cool. It's like a tie back to everything Pokemon right in there. Type of 5 if you can hear that. What I just played is tied back to the Uncle Gong, that we also heard, I believe, for like the Champions Walk thing in Gen 1. Ah, so cool. Ah, and the super ancient Pokemon has awakened. We're going to keep it rocking. Might be Shmuel. Something's out of tune right now. Like, big time. Ah, love it. Absolutely love it. Let's keep it rocking. Oh, the groove, baby. This may be 6-8 right here. Wow. Hey, I got some cool news for you. Abnormal weather's up next. Well, this sounds very different. This is our second or first abnormal track. So this whole idea right here, this encapsulates the opposite of the entire feeling of, oh, this is a fun kids game, and brings us straight into the danger of something terrible or awful happening, or there being some kind of threat or danger on the horizon. How do we hear that? Fundamentally a 1 to a flat 2 going back and forth. Here's the 1, here's the flat 2, back to the 1. Let's keep it rocking and rolling. Whoa, so I have never heard that piece of music before. That was pretty epic. Changing vibes. Ah, absolutely, absolutely awesome and amazing. Love it. it's looping, so I'm going to bring us back to the beginning here. Listen to this. This is part right here. Right there, these drums. These are called timpani drums. And they're these big, big, big drums you can actually tune to different pitches. And that's what we're hearing right here, timpani drums. Good stuff. Let's keep it rocking with the next one. Oh, the groove, baby. Absolutely. I mean, not very Greek, but absolutely delightful. This is also Gen 1. This is called Diving Here. What was this called, Gen 1? Hey guys, what was this called in Gen 1? Because we heard this in Gen 1 as well, if I'm not mistaken. Did it have the same name, or am I having some type of mental break here? I feel like we've heard this exact piece before in Gen 1. You let me know. I'd be curious to understand. Gen 2, it was somewhere. Well, then it was in Gen 2. Guys, I'm telling you, I am 100% certain. We have heard this piece of music before. In Gen 1 or Gen 2, I'm 100% certain. Someone's going to figure this out. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments. We've heard this one before. Or we heard it already in this OST. It's one of the three. Either I heard it earlier today, and I'm really starting to lose it, or it was in Gen 1 or Gen 2. heard that piece of music before, I'm telling you. Not this one. The other one. But that was delicious. That was fun. So, I don't think I did any of the contests. I think I might have skipped them because I was like, let me just get on with it to the next thing. You let me know how you like to play the game. Sheep says, Dan, clearly you did contests if you had a memory of the art museum. I don't have a memory of the art museum. I have a memory of getting my Pokemon's pictures painted. To be clear, I'm not sure if that's in the art museum or not. And I did play this game like 20 or 30 times when I was a kiddo, so it's possible that 1 or 2 times through I did the contest, and I just don't remember it because I played this game so many times. All right, let's keep it rocking and rolling. So what do we have here? We have a... Let's get a little zhuzh on it, shall we? So what we have here is a flat 6 to a 5 back to a 1. Flat 6, 5 back to a 1. And anytime we know we have this flat 6, or just a flat in general, it is going to sound relative to the sort of lullaby-esque part of the Pokemon soundtracks. It's going to sound a little bit dangerful. Ones and fives, all Jimmy Buffett style. Loving it. Let's keep it rocking and rolling. Oh, that was delightful. Let's keep it rocking. So right there, let's actually break this down just a little bit. We had 1 to 5, 1, flat 7 to, I don't remember where we went. 1, I was like, maybe 2 to 5. Minor 4 to 5. There's that minor 4 yet again showing up in this here OST. Now we're on to Victory Road. Oh, come on. Do it. It's like the main theme. So right here we have, let's get a little zhuzh on this thing. Right? Instead of type a 3 in the chat if you can hear rhythmically that this is kind of quoting the main theme. And so this is like just the sort of minor threatening the ultimate contest of the whole story. Now, I see a lot of you are hearing that. That's so cool. Now, make my heart happy. Those of you who have heard that for the first time with me pointing it out and you're just making this connection, put a 5 in the chat. If this is your first time understanding this connection, put a 5 in the chat. I want to know who I'm talking to. Let's keep this rocking and rolling. Love the groove on that. That was sick. Let's keep it rocking. Quick, before we go on to the next one, comment in the chat. And if you're watching this on demand, let me know in the comments, what is your favorite piece in Gen 3? Put it in the chat, put it in the comments. What is your favorite piece in Gen 3? And let's keep this rock and rolling. And if you're wondering what Gen 3 is, we're talking the Ruby. We're talking the Sapphire. And we're talking the Emerald. Let's keep this going. Now we've encountered the Elite Four. What are we gonna do next? It's time to battle. Let's do this, baby. Guys, did we have Articuno in this generation, or am I remembering Gen 1 that had Articuno? The ice bird Pokemon. Because I remember bringing in some type of bird to... No, that was Gen 1. Okay, Gen 1 had Articuno. I was remembering Articuno. Regice, perhaps, is the bird I'm remembering. Scotty said, I heard iceberg. Yes, you bring an iceberg into your fight with the Elite Four. All right, let's check out Battle Champion. Let's do this thing. Let's rock it out. Oh my gosh, I'm loving this music. Type a 5 in the chat if you're absolutely digging it. Type a 5 in the chat if you are absolutely digging it. And then type a 7 if you're having a nice time here in this stream. And you're doing the format. Something wild. It's been so long since I've listened to this music. When I tell you that I consciously only remember like 3% of the songs we've listened to today, that's really the truth. So then you're looking at like about 120 total, and I remember maybe 4 or 5 of them consciously. Like, it's been so long. man. So what we heard right there was what I like to call the rivers in the desert chord. So we had a 1 to a flat 7 to then what's going to be a 4 in first inversion, and then to a flat 6 to a flat 7 back to 1, and that 4 in first inversion. I call it Rivers in the Desert because you can hear that in Rivers in the Desert from Persona 5. All right, check this out right here. Right there. Oh my gosh. Oh, one more time. Oh, those, we would call those hits because the whole band hits together. So good. So cool. Love that. Alright, that is looping. That is delightful, and a different battle tower than what we heard in the Sapphire version, if I'm not mistaken. Oh my. Oh, those jumps are wild. I thought something was like hitting the floor. Okay, we get it. That was wild. Oh, cool. Oh, cool. Man, that was so cool. That's the first like sort of Japanesey type thing we've really heard in terms of not just the harmony, but also like the tempo, the instruments, the sound fonts, everything. Sounds awesome. We're gonna let this play straight through here. Oh, there's something's actually gonna happen in this one. So right here we have something like... And then it does like a... Really interesting stuff. So it's basically just like a flat 7, 1, 2, flat 3. And there's grooving. It's just flat 7s and 1s all over the place there. Here we're hearing a very different vibe with these Emerald tracks. Almost sounds like maybe a different composer, or the same composer at a different time of their life, or someone told the composer to do something radically different, because the total vibe here is very different. Like this. More volume. Is this better? I mean, very, very different than what we heard. I know I'm saying this now twice in a row, but this is so radically different. The music, the feeling, the mix, even the sounds that are used compared to what we heard in Emerald and in Sapphire. Excuse me, Ruby and Sapphire. Thank goodness something's happening. And a quick ending to that one, and we're going to the next one. So what we had right there, again, is that... sound and thing. Let's keep it going. First voices we've heard in the entire OST. Yeah, and if I was to play along with this, I would think of this as being a C major to a F major to like a A flat back to a C major. If the arpeggios above it are not that. Not really. All right, okay, let's just keep this going. We received battle points. Let's keep rocking. That was, I believe, my favorite piece we've heard in the back half of this entire OST. That was absolutely sick. That was awesome. Really. Yeah, this is like Gen 2 battle. Or Gen 1 battle, yeah. Yes, drums. Oh, yes, the ride cymbal. Oh, come on. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, my gosh. Yo, that, my friends, is how, oh, my gosh, that is a sick arrangement of that battle music. And just the drums. Top shelf, delicious, delightful, awesome, incredible, amazing, stupendous, splendiferous, and even great. Let's go to the next one. A shout out and a thank you to J2O Juice for producing the playlist on this. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you. Talking to you. Ah, the feels. But it's not over yet, is it? I want to say thank you for joining me on this stream. I don't get to do this without you. So I just want to say thank you. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. If you're here live, thank you for chatting. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thanks for spending this time with me. I'm so grateful. So grateful. But we ain't done yet. No, sir. This isn't how this stream ends. I want to give a shout out and a thank you to Music Sheep. There's actually extra songs in the Super OST that you should hear. Memory P, Slateport, and Trickmaster. Also Team Rocket Hideout remix as well. Well, we'll see about that, Music Sheep, but thank you so much for your support, and let me know what OST you'd like to upvote specifically for that. Maybe just in case we don't get to those. Rubberman202 says, hey, Warland Ford just got added to Nintendo Switch Online yesterday. Oh, that's so cool. So once again, upvoting that game's soundtrack. Soundtrack is legit. One of the most avant-garde things Nintendo's ever done. Thank you, Rubberman202, who goes on to say, as for today's soundtrack, once again we have Go Ichinose, Morikazu Aoki, and Junichi Masuda as the composers, in case you're wondering. Put the donut towards Pokemon TGC and Game Boy Color. Matthew Banky says, Juggling Gamer, and I would like to know when the donation will be added to the list. Soon, my friend, soon. Blizzard's Pizza Tower bonus tracks, you got it. Pinky says, since you're in Pokemon mood, take a look at Mystery Dungeon games, specifically the first two, Rescue Team and Explorers. I think we might have done Explorers. I don't think we did Rescue Team, though. So thank you very much. you're able to stand, I invite you to stand up wherever you are, and we're gonna pump this thing up. I invite you to stand up with me, and we're gonna pump this thing up. Thank you so much, my friends. Have a beautiful day. I'm so grateful to be here with you.